My wife called me controlling for one simple boundary. What happened when I removed the boundary completely shocked her. 3 weeks ago, my wife came home at 3:47 a.m., stumbling through the front door like she was auditioning for a zombie movie. When I asked her the next morning why she couldn't respect a simple request to be home by a reasonable hour, she looked at me like I just suggested we sacrifice our firstborn to the moon gods. That's when this whole mess started. Let me paint you the picture. We've been married for 4 years, and up until recently, we had what I thought was a pretty solid relationship. She had her friends, I had mine, and we both understood that marriage meant being considerate of each other. But somewhere along the line, girls' nights went from occasional dinner and drinks to weekly marathons that ended when most people are getting ready for work. The first time she rolled in at 2 a.m., I didn't say anything. Hey, everyone deserves to blow off steam, right? The second time, I mentioned it casually over breakfast. Late night last night, I said, not even looking up from my coffee. She just shrugged and said the girls were really going through it and needed her support. Fine, I'm not heartless. But when it became a weekly occurrence and then twice a week, I figured it was time for an adult conversation. I waited until we were both relaxed, sitting on the couch after dinner, and I brought it up gently. Hey, I've been thinking about the late nights lately. I know you're having fun with your friends, but I worry about you driving home so late, and honestly, it's affecting our time together. You would have thought I just declared war on female independence. Her eyes went wide, and she sat up like she was about to deliver a closing argument in court. Are you serious right now? You're trying to control when I come home? That's incredibly controlling behavior. Controlling? That word hit me like a slap. I wasn't asking her to stop seeing her friends. I wasn't demanding she be home by sunset. I was simply suggesting that maybe, just maybe, 3 a.m. was pushing it for a married woman with responsibilities. But apparently, that made me the villain in this story. I'm not trying to control anything, I said, keeping my voice calm. I'm just saying that when you're out until 3 a.m., it affects both of us. I stay up worrying, and then we're both exhausted the next day. Can't we find a middle ground? She stood up, arms crossed, and delivered what I now realize was her opening statement in the case against my character. This is exactly the kind of behavior my friends warned me about. Men think they can just dictate what women do with their time. I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions about when to come home. And there it was. Her friends had been involved in this conversation before I even knew there was a conversation to be had. That's when I understood I wasn't just dealing with my wife's sudden need for extended girls' nights. I was dealing with a committee that had apparently voted me most likely to be a controlling husband. Over the next few days, I started noticing things. The way she'd get texts during dinner and immediately start typing back with an urgency usually reserved for emergency room communications. The way she'd take calls in the other room, speaking in hushed tones. And most telling of all, the way she'd look at me sometimes, like she was studying me for signs of this controlling behavior her friends had apparently diagnosed. I decide to stop arguing and start mirroring my wife's behavior to show her how ridiculous she's being. But when I start staying out until 3 a.m. myself, her friends convince her that my newfound independence is actually a manipulative plot. You won't believe the logic they use to twist the situation. Click here to watch full version.